Destruction, a word that you hear in comic books and movies and, uttered by angry people. Destruction is actually a very, very utilitarian business term. Why do I say that? Because it takes destruction to create new value. When you have an industry or you have a large company in the industry and it goes from its growth phase into its mature phase and then cash cow phase, it tends to sit on its laurels. The reason is, there's no need to do otherwise. It makes plenty of money doing what it's doing. Okay, and because it makes a lot of money chugging along status quo, pushing out legacy products and legacy services, there's very, very little incentive to do otherwise. As a matter of fact, the only true incentive for it to get up off of its laurels and actually take significant risks is when it's faced with destruction. Destruction of revenue streams, destruction of business models, destruction of profit, destruction of the actual existence itself of the organization. Quick examples throughout history, you have Kodak, which actually had the patent for the digital camera, bankrupt. You have the traditional, or what used to be the traditional media companies, overcome by Google and new media. You have basically every entity that didn't embrace platform economics totally taken over. Everybody that Google walked over. Everybody that Uber is currently walking over. Airbnb, Amazon. Platform economics bring about destruction, at least over the last decade or two. Now, we have more than platform economics. Now we have the technology to go even further. Artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, consensus algorithms, smart contracts. Creation, the antithesis of destruction. So we just went over destruction. Now we go over creation. Why? Because creation, outside of being the antithesis of destruction, and outside of being polar opposite, is the natural conclusion of destruction. You've heard of the term creative destruction. You've heard of the phoenix, which flies as a powerful being, right? Crashes, burns to ash, and then it's reborn again out of its ashes. Creative destruction does just that. Veritaseum's business model is creative destruction. We destroy, and then we create value out of that we destroy. Another name for this creative destruction is disintermediation, and that's what we're about. Now, you hear these words bandied about a lot. Creative destruction and disintermediation and disruption. A couple of MBA guys get this in the slide deck. It goes all over the place. And I know we're using terms as well. We truly mean it. Why? Because we're not attempting to embrace the status quo. We're not attempting to take legacy business models and cling on to them because they offer healthy cash flows up front. I'm talking to you, Wall Street. We're not going to take our blockchain technology and attempt to build out your back end. We're not going to attempt to build out your middle end. We're going to take the entire interface, the front end, your clients, and we're going to enable them to do business directly with each other. So you can keep your back end, you can keep your middle end, and we're taking the client base. It's a learning curve. It may seem outlandish or outrageous or impossible, but remember, I'm sure that's what Blockbuster said about Netflix. I'm sure that's what the media companies said about Google. I'm sure that's what many of the livery companies have said about Uber before they got started. Amazon, etc. We're a platform company, and we're taking our platform technology and we're attacking the vertical silos. Okay? Those who believe that they're in automobile insurance, and that's what they serve, and it's unassailable due to regulation and capital needs, I have a surprise for you. Think of a digital autonomous organization, a DAO, that serves as a deductible assurance rebate program. It runs on its own, capitalized, self-capitalized by us, programmed by us as a collection of smart contracts that lives in the cloud through the blockchain. You contribute small amounts of capital to it, you have an incident, right? You submit an incident to the organization is able to verify or not, and then shoots out a rebate for your deductible. That deductible rebate allows you to buy a much higher deductible insurance policy for much less money. Okay, much less than you pay with the whole combination than if you just paid that insurance company for a $200 deductible insurance policy. Sounds pie in the sky to many. This is something that we're brainstorming in the background. We take the sharing economy, the Ubers. Uber is simply an entity that acts as a centralized server, and it's leveraging everybody else's plant and infrastructure. It's leveraging your cell phones. It's leveraging Google's Maps API. It's leveraging the driver's car and their labor. And what is Uber adding? Their technology, while interesting, is actually very, very simple, essentially. Mapping logistics, okay? You can do the same thing with a digital autonomous organization, collection of smart contracts funded. We have that in the works. We also went through another description, the synthetic mutual fund, or the synthetic ETF. Another digital autonomous organization, collection of smart contracts, where you send capital to it, and it gives that capital the same exposure as the S&P 500 or a 10-year treasury yield index, etc. Okay, it lives on its own. What is the common thread between all these? They operate at very, very low margins, what we call the zero cost basis margin, where they cut prices down to the point that none of the legacy vertical silos can ever survive on. Interesting, okay? And we benefit by selling the value-added services that make these things work, that entice people who want to take advantage of it. A good example would be Wall Street. Wall Street makes money in fees and commissions, significant amount, most of their money, when they should have made money on advisory and taking their intellectual prowess and capital and selling it to their clients. But that's not how it works. So we're taking the Wall Street model, turning it upside down, crunching it, throwing it out the window, and going back to the old days, like the E.F. Hutton commercial. We make money the old-fashioned way. We earn it. We sell intellectual capital and advisory and knowledge. We create autonomous vehicles that run on their own and give you these laborious services that should have been robotically automated a long time ago, and we robotically automate them. Look out for us. April 25th, 9:30 a.m. at the opening of the New York City, the New York financial markets is when the Veritaseum crowd sale commences. Look forward to you buying as much Veritas, which is our coin token, and you're going to help us change the world, help us change the future. Destroy the status quo, recreate it in a peer-to-peer capital markets nature, unleash value for everyone.